Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Abdullah, and the purpose of this video is to share my findings and the things that I have learned through professional life so far. And as Google Sheets or Excel are a big part of everyone's professional life, um, so I'm going to be talking about that today. And I'm a big fan of Google Sheets, and I feel that it is superior to Excel. And the primary reason for that is Google Sheets is an open source software. It can be accessible by anyone, and you don't need a license for it, and you can collaborate at all times together. So when I first started working at a startup, we are using Google Sheets, and with time, I learned so many functionalities on it, from which I was quite impressed. And I'm going to be sharing some of them with you today. So let's get to business. Okay. This is the data set we have on hand. Okay. It's by a bike sharing company in Chicago. Okay. And in this data set, we have different variables and their attributes. Okay. So we have different types of bikes. They might be electric bike or the classic bike or a docked bike. And the trip starting times, ending times, um, the starting lat, longs, the user type, if it was a member or a casual, and the station they started from and they ended at are all over here. So I'm gonna be using Curie today. And in order to use Curie, let's look at its documentation first of all. So first of all, it asks for you to code a data, okay? And then after coding that data, you can select what you exactly need from that data. Making, it's actually taking a big table and converting that big table into small tables according to your liking. And it does all of that in just these words, okay? So let's go on and name our data set first of all, okay? Select it all. I'm gonna be calling it data. I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna write my query first of all over here. So let's start by seeing how many different types of users we have. Okay, let's count them in the whole data set. This whole data set is in the month of January 2021. Okay, so as we come over here and we see that the user types are in the column M. So that's what my new table is going to be using. Select M, the count of M. In order for it to look cleaner, I move to the next line, group by M, so that it groups the casual and members together. And then just to sort it, I'm gonna be using this. I'm gonna come back here, use my query function again, give it the data that I just named, come here, and it asks me how many header rows do I have. I just have one. And voila. So I can easily see how many members and casuals I have in that data set. Now, there are many more intricacies that you can achieve through this. You can give so much detail to your tables, okay? And I'm gonna be showing you some things that I find quite functional. Let's start with the date. Let's suppose I want to see how many members and casuals I have in the first 10 days of January. Okay, so I'm gonna come back here. Um, So query basically is following the same structure that a structured query language has. Okay. And first of all, you select the columns you need, and then you give it the condition, and then you group them and order them accordingly. So I'm gonna come here, say where, basically C. C is where we have all the dates. Yeah, where C is greater than or equal to. Now, in order for it to understand, I need to write date before. And I need them in the first 10 days. So I'm going to write the year first of all, then the month, then the date. And then now this is just one condition that I gave it. And I can give it multiple conditions using and or statements. I'm going to be using and statement, C less than or equal to, again, date. You have to give these spaces, otherwise it won't recognize it. 2021, month, and date. Let's check the other things. I guess that should do it. Query, data, the rows are 1. Yes. As you can see, these are the number of members and casuals we had in the first 10 days of January, basically. And we can also give it strings, okay, which is quite useful, I'll tell you that. And for it to just query all of that data, depending on a string that you give, is quite fun. I find it pretty amusing. And I'm going to be showing you why I find it pretty amusing and functional. So let's start with these station names, okay? Let's suppose I need to see how many members and casuals I have around a university, okay, which are using the stations of a university. So I'm gonna come back here, gonna copy paste it again. I'm a big fan of copy pasting, and I learned it from one of my hojas, teachers, as they call it in Turkish. Okay. Basically, what I need right now is select M, count M. I need the station names, okay, which are in the column E. Start station name I'm going to be using over here. So let's say E, M. So again, I'm going to give it the condition in between where. Now, it actually finds the strings and it's case sensitive. Okay, so whatever you pass it has to match exactly what you have in the original data set, okay, between the quotation marks, as you're going to see right now. So in order to work around it, what you can use is lower E. So basically all of the strings, all of the words I have in the column E are going to be converted to lowercase while it's processing. That's it. It's not going to change the original data set. Where lower E is basically, it has, you can basically use just contains. So if it just has this word, and I'm going to be passing it university in quotation marks, okay, be careful to put it in all lower cases, as the original data set is going to be in lowercase as well. And then we say group by M, group by E and M, so that it counts all the station names that have university together. Order by count M descending. So what I'm gonna be seeing is the station name, which is E. M column is our members, how many members and casuals we have in that station name, the count of them. Okay. And I'm gonna come back here, query data. Again, look how functional this is. So I'm basically seeing all the members and casuals we have around universities. Okay. And if you need more variations with it, you can integrate the date functionality along it just by using AND statements. One other thing that you can do is you can change your titles as well. So if I were to use label E as station, M as user, finally count M as count. Okay, so I did some mistake. Label E station. Got the quotation over here. Yep. So it makes it look more cleaner. And the best part is that all of these changes are live. So if I were to make any changes to the original data set, it would quote all of these changes over here and change it. And I'm going to be moving on to another thing that I really want to tell is the import function in Google Sheets. Now, the import function basically just mirrors the data set you have, and it doesn't give you any functionality to change the original data set, but you can view it at all times. And if there are any changes made in the original data set, it will change them accordingly over there as well. So I'm going to be showing you how it exactly does that. I'm going to be opening another sheet, totally different sheet. I'm going to use the import range function. Okay. So it asks me of the spreadsheet URL. I'm just going to be copy pasting that between quotation marks. And then it's going to ask me for the sheet name. So our sheet name that I want to quote is this. I just need to quote, let's suppose I'm sharing it with another department that just needs to see the starting and ending times of the trips along with the bikes. Okay, so I'm just going to be giving them A to D, and I can choose how many rows they want as well. So I'm just going to come back here, A1 to D100, and that's it. So it asks you to allow the access the first time you do this. And as I said, that these changes are live. So let's suppose I added a row above. It's going to show me the same thing over here. See, it changed. And I cannot do anything with it. If I were to do that, it will give me an error. And then it comes back right over here. And just by using query and import functions together, I have actually made a customers sheet, which we use every day at our startup. And both of these functions, when mixed together, can make your life quite easier. And it's just your willingness to use them, and you will see how much easier everything becomes. I hope that helps you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.